Good Wednesday evening, folks. Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandajis here with you on Wednesday, October the 2nd, 2024, talking about Hurricane Kirk, way out in the Atlantic Basin, and also newly formed Tropical Depression number 13, well on its way to becoming Leslie. Now, Kirk is on its way itself to being our season's third major hurricane. Explosive intensification underway at this time. Leslie right on its heels, and odds have been lowered for that tropical wave heading into the southern Gulf of Mexico and developing. So that's a good development there. All right, here's a look at Kirk out in the Atlantic. We've got 120-mile-per-hour winds. In fact, just got the latest 8 o'clock advisory from the Hurricane Center, and it has now jumped to a Category 3 major hurricane. The last update, it was at 90 miles per hour at 5 o'clock. So rapid intensification underway. This is a 6-hour loop here on infrared imagery, and you can see this thing has really intensified. It's got a cleared out eye, and it's got very intense convection or thunderstorm activity completely enveloping the core. And this is going to be likely becoming a Category 4 hurricane at its peak, maybe even a Category 5. It's in very favorable conditions. Right on its heels, Tropical Depression 13, which will be named Leslie soon. 35-mile-per-hour winds right now. You can see it's a little bit disorganized. It's also got the shear coming on in from the north and west, the outflow from what is now Major Hurricane Kirk. Elsewhere, well, here's a look at the track, actually, for Kirk, up to 145-mile-per-hour winds. This is a big increase from its previous forecast. Category 4 as early as tomorrow, so that's another jump of 25 miles per hour in sustained winds. You know, to satisfy the criteria of rapid intensification, you need to increase sustained winds 35 miles per hour over 24 hours, and we've already done that, it looks like. So up to a Category 4, and then as it turns to the north, thankfully this stays away from any land. We've got Bermuda here, so it's even tracking well east. Likely some massive swells coming towards Bermuda, but as it turns to the north and eventually encounters some cooler sea surface temperatures, we'll start to see it weaken a bit, but still Category 1 as it gains latitude and heads up into the North Atlantic. And then we've got TD13 expected to become a storm and then a hurricane as we go through the next couple of days, pretty much tracking right behind Kirk right now. So that'll be interesting to watch there. Elsewhere in the Atlantic Basin, we do have these two named storms, obviously, and then we've got this wave here that will be heading into the southern Gulf of Mexico. It has been, chances have been decreased on it developing. Yesterday when we talked, it was at 10%, 40%. Now we're at 0 and 30, considered low chances over the next 7 days. Models have been having a very tough time kind of deciphering what may happen. And it's hard to do when there's not even a center formed or a storm system to track yet. So the models are just guessing at this moment. Sometimes they're a little more bullish on development. Sometimes they show nothing at all. So we'll have to watch this area carefully. We still have very warm water temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico. Despite Helene working through the eastern Gulf and taking a lot of that heat energy, there's still plenty left, and there's still a lot of hurricane season to go. That's the latest on today's update. If you have any questions between now and tomorrow's update, you can find me on social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. I'll see you again tomorrow.